Trupti ma'am, as I earlier mentioned, she is a filmmaker, actor, writer, HR professional, also connected with law. She's based in Bangalore. She's a very creative person. She describes herself as a jack of all trades, a lawyer by training, a HR professional by choice, and an aspiring filmmaker by passion. So here it is like training, choice, and passion. I think you all should take this very, strongly. That's wonderful. She has started her career working in the legal teams of a reputed MNC or in various reputed MNCs, if I could put that right. And then she changed her career trajectory to move on to the people side of law. That's really nice to be connected with people in the right way. She became a legal recruiter. If I could put it right again, she became a legal recruiter and a HR person and was heading people and development for her previous organization. She was also the first woman director on their board. Wonderful. In 2018, she has been recognized among the top 100 HR minds in the country by CHRO Asia. In the past few years, Trupti ma'am has made a conscious shift to the creative side. When I say conscious shift, we very well know what we are doing, like moving from one career to another for the better, or, to give our very best to take out the hidden talent within us, to feel more complete on our journey called life. Now, friends, she is in this beautiful field and she says she was drawn towards this field of the creative side right from her early days. As a little child, she was really very much interested on the creative side and she is here in that zone and very happy. She describes herself as a great person connected with great people. When she says great people, she finds that peace and joy in every human being she comes across. She finds something special in each one of you. She draws inspiration. How she performs as an actor. So when she sees the pain in you, when she sees the joy in you, she's able to enact and emote that on screen. As an actor, she's able to write and put all the emotions, etc., in the form of beautiful stories and scripts, etc. She's a wonderful director. And what's the secret now? A voiceover artist. I really love this. A voiceover artist and has worked with some of the best names in the industry. She has 3 award-winning short films to her credit as a writer, as a director, etc. Hejjegalu, if I get that right, one. The next one is Dead End and How Are You? These are the 3 short films to her credit, which has been receiving acclaim and award and recognition, the right type of awards and recognition. To add to that, she has won awards for the Best Women Director, Best Screenplay, Special Mention, Best Short Film, to name a few. She is presently working on an anthology which connects and contains 4 short stories directed and written by 4 women and has some of the best names in the Kannada industry associated with it. Now, we are really privileged to meet people like Trupti ma'am to get to know about her journey as to how she's been able to do all of it. And if you want to also have a shift in your career, in your passion, you want to be behind what you really want and who you really are, I think Trupti ma'am's story would really inspire all of us. Hello, ma'am, and thank you for being here with us. Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you once again for inviting me to this wonderful talk.
Thank you. Now, ma'am, many of us would like to know who is the real Trupti. How would you like to describe yourself today on this platform?
To be honest, who is the real Trupti is a good question because that is something that I'm also still discovering. I get bored very easily. Monotony kind of, gets me down. So I have to keep doing something new. I have to keep discovering something new within myself to, kind of feel alive and to understand who Trupti is. So that's pretty much how it's been the journey for me so far. So it's been a journey of self-discovery, which has in turn led me to challenging myself constantly to see what next. What's the next step that you can do? Can you do this? Let's see if you can do this. So it's something about me challenging myself, and that's pretty much what it is, I guess.
I really like that when you say self-discovery. Right? Many of us, including me,
yes,
we are all on that journey where we would like to discover our hidden talents, our hidden skills, maybe, or, find who we really are. And when we get to know slowly step by step, slowly, who we are and how we should go forward in our lives, what is the right path that we should choose to make us feel more complete.
yes.
Yes. That's wonderful. Now, ma'am, you are a writer as well. Now, I'm
Mhm.
really, surprised being in the law field, then again coming to writing and acting and film. Acting and film will come a little later, but I'd
Mhm.
like to know your stint as a writer. When did this journey begin? Were you having all these beautiful thoughts of penning them down, you're penning your thoughts down as a little kid or at a later stage in life?
To be honest, right from childhood, I think I have had that flair for languages, and I've playing around with words has been something which has always kind of interested me. I remember even back in school, middle school, high school is when I would sit and write poems either in English or Hindi or Kannada or whatever, whichever, at that moment, whichever language I'm thinking in. And, it's just the words come together by themselves and, I just start writing. So that passion for writing has always been there. And I honestly feel that somebody who can write really well is a person who can think really well, because, that articulation is very important. And how you're writing is how your mind is working. So if it's somebody who can pen down really well, it means that they have that clarity of thought and they know what's going on inside. So that I feel is very important. And yes, so it's always been that I've been writing from when I was a kid. And I think as I grew older, somewhere probably with the corporate field, with work, life, family, responsibilities, that kind of, went down. But I'm happy to say that I'm slowly kind of rediscovering that side of me. And I enjoy it because um, that's, I feel, is the true me. When I put something down, sometimes I read and I say, hey, did I write this? Because I'm like, okay, so this means that, I'm able to communicate what I think, and I'm able to put it across in such a way that people appreciate it and they recognize, they kind of, understand, and they are able to feel along with what the character, or, whatever I've written, they're able to relate to it basically. So yeah.
Yes, wonderful, ma'am. I could really understand what you've been just sharing just now. As a kid, you began to pen your thoughts down in any language that you were comfortable in. And when people read it, they could really resonate with it, understand that they could also have been, one of the characters that you've written over there, or what you've expressed, they might have also felt all of that
Yes.
or experienced all of that. That's nice. Now, ma'am, how are you? If I put this question to you, you know
Mhm.
what it is. It is a short film, you know,
Yes.
you have been into that zone where you have been connected to this film. How are you? So if you could
Yes.
share that, what is the essence of this short film?
Sure. So, and how are you is a question I keep getting asked by people because of the title. And essentially, the story came from a single thought process. The concept of grief is, such a relatable concept. It's such a strong feeling that a person has. And what interested me was the different ways in which an individual can deal with something like grief. So some of us accept it, move on in life. Some of us, become depressed. We go into our own shell. Um, I thought that anger was a very interesting way to deal with another strong emotion like grief. So, with that thought process, I started writing a story about a woman who is using anger as a mechanism to cope with somebody who's left her and gone. She's had a loss, and somebody's left her in her life and gone, and how she's dealing with it through anger. So the entire story exploits this storyline. Yes.
Excellent. And I'm really happy that you've taken up that subject and the topic, or worked on that project where you have depicted the feelings of a woman, how she has been able to deal with, certain things that have happened in her life. That's wonderful. And if for me, if I am upset, to be very frank, like the best thing is I cry. And after a big, I cry a lot. And then afterwards, I start feeling good after that. No matter what happens in my life. So I'll give it a good cry, maybe 1 day, 2 days, and then I feel much stronger, like, dipped in salt water and taken out. I don't know if I would put that right. So I could, how are you? So I was really, yeah, suddenly surprised. How are you is connected with grief, so then that's really nice.
Yeah, that sentence has a significance in the movie. If you watch it, you will probably understand why I have chosen that as the title. Because even in the movie, that sentence, when it's expressed, comes as a turning point for the story. So, hence, How Are You became the title for.
Beautiful. That's really nice. Now, ma'am, we'll talk about Dead End. What is this?
So Dead End was about, see, basically when you go through a rough uh, patch in life, when nothing's going your way, um, it's very easy to kind of give up and, to accept that you've lost and to just throw in everything and, you know, probably just give up your own life itself. So Dead End is about one such person who, if you look at it, is what you typically call a loser. Nothing seems to be going his way. And it's about how, he just accepts it and decides to turn things around and move on in life. So it's all about that. So it's basically not, there's never a dead end in life. It's just about you reversing and going the other way.
Yes, that's really nice. Thank you so much, ma'am. What about Hejjegalu, if I'm pronouncing the word right?
Hejjegalu, yes.
Hejjegalu.
Yes.
Yes, dear.
So Hejjegalu is a one of its kind short film, I'd say. Hejjegalu basically means footsteps. And I have used the concept of footsteps. So there are no actors in this short film. There are only voices, and the entire story moves on footsteps. So it's about a family, right from, the entire life cycle of a family, from when you're a young, just married couple, to a couple who's had children, to the children growing up, to the daughter getting married, to the son moving out on work, to you losing your wife, to you becoming a loner in life. So the entire cycle just shown through footsteps. So the idea was, what if footsteps told a story?
It's very unique, very nice. It's connected to life, connected to,
Absolutely.
Yeah, the cycle of life and all the different aspects and emotions connected to life. That's really nice. Dear. Now, ma'am, you also are connected to the law. You have been trained as a lawyer. When did this journey begin and how?
I come from a family of lawyers. So I am a second generation lawyer, and my dad still practices. He has about 45 years of practice now, and he still continues to practice. My brother's also a lawyer. So when I was picking up this decision in terms of which career or profession I want to choose, at that point for me, it seemed like a natural choice, something that I didn't have to think much about. It seemed natural that, I take up law, which is why I went ahead with it. And I've always been an art student, not somebody who's been made for maths and science and things like that. So it just seemed like the natural choice for me, and I took it up. Not that I didn't enjoy law. In fact, I was one of the top students even in my law school, and the subjects were very relevant. I enjoyed the entire process of becoming a lawyer. I enjoyed the process of working as a lawyer in companies. Um, it's just that probably somewhere along the line, I felt that I'm probably not cut to be a traditional lawyer. So somewhere very early on in my career, I knew that maybe I am not meant to be this lawyer who puts on a gown and goes and argues in the court, or this lawyer who, slogs it out and puts in unlimited hours at a law firm. Maybe that is not who I am. But there was always a question, if not this, then what am I supposed to do? So that's the background about how, I became a lawyer, basically.
I thank you for being honest, ma'am. Thank you for that. Because there are many people out there at one point of time, they select something and then they feel I'm not into this. And I have the freedom to choose some other path where I could express myself, where I could get that fulfillment of giving my whole thing to that profession or to that given zone.
Especially, I'd like to add at this point, Andrea, that even in a profession like law, there are so many options nowadays. You don't have to be the typical lawyer. There are so many options and career paths within the legal stream itself. So it's that much more diversified and that many more options that you have. in terms of where you want to progress and how you want to take your training and use it to progress in the profession, but you want to be different.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. That would be really good for all the youngsters who are thinking of joining law. But being a lawyer is not the only option. There are different other uh, paths and maybe chosen careers within the law frame, or maybe with regard to the law or becoming a lawyer, etc. That's really nice. Now, I imagine myself standing there and arguing somebody's case, just like that for a moment. So, friends, you could just imagine yourself to be in the right career, give it a try, and then see if it works out for you, good. If not, life has many choices. Variety is the spice of life, right? Now, dear, you've also been connected with the HR department. Now, how did this journey begin?
So, like I said, very early on, I kind of realized that I'm not a typical lawyer. But then the next question was, so what next? I always had this inclination towards the people side. And there was always this thought that, I am a little more, a people person. I love interacting with people. I love reaching out to people, talking to people. But then I've done my law. How do I, kind of, why should I give that up? Which is when I came across this company that I'm presently also working with, and as a consultant, but I used to work with them as a full-time employee also. Um, they bridged the gap between law and people wonderfully, because they used to recruit lawyers for clients. So we are called legal recruiters, and we recruit lawyers for companies, law firms, etc. So I just thought that worked wonderfully, because I was not giving up what I'd studied, and it helped me to kind of pursue and explore what seemed interesting to me, and that's how the switch happened. And slowly, with a recruiting profile, I kind of got into the other HR functions also, like internal talent acquisition. It could be employee relations, it could be employee engagement, and I realized that was something that I enjoyed doing. And I finally felt that, okay, this is probably where I should have been, and I've come there, eventually. So that's how it happened.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. That's really nice. Now, dear, we all face a lot of challenges, irrespective of gender. Now, you being a woman, what are the challenges that you faced till date, either as a professional or in your own house? Because even in our house, we are being, given a treatment, a biased treatment. As far as my brother was given a priority in my own family. So I used to argue with them. Then they say, you have a long tongue. You're talking against the elders. I would question them, why so much for him and so and so. So did you ever face such a situation in your life?
Yeah, I think no woman can ever say that, I've had a privileged upbringing and, I've never had challenges. If not internally, then external challenges will always be there, is what I feel. And I think that's what makes us probably more resilient towards life. And that's what gives us a better outlook towards life, because maybe in our life's journey, we have faced so many challenges, which somebody outside cannot understand. It is a woman who will probably be able to relate to you. Yes, there have been challenges growing up. The typical, like you said, the usual, although now being a parent and I look back having a daughter myself, I understand probably where the restrictions and the concerns used to come from. But yes, growing up, it was always the things about what my brother could do. And I stepping out wasn't that easy. If you had to go somewhere, there was accountability and things like that, which was still okay. But I'd say that the real challenge, and you actually start to see life when you step out into the professional world. So on the corporate side, I would say things are really changing now for women. Thanks to the wonderful HR initiatives, diversity, inclusion, everything that's coming in. I think it's a much more pleasant world to work right now compared to what it used to be. But I would say the typical challenges I felt was, balancing that kind of when I say it's not even your work life balance, because I would have colleagues who would go out and, hang around after work. and I would have to go back home because I had children to take care of, I had a family to run. So that would be something that sometimes would be a challenge. Even if there is somebody who's at home telling, okay, today you can stay back, you go out and enjoy with your friends, I think the mom guilt kind of gets to you, and you yourself become hard on yourself, and you're like, no, I'm enjoying out here and my children are there at home. So those are the kind of challenges. If it comes to filmmaking, I'd say that's another different kind of set of challenges. We've had, as women filmmakers, we've had colleagues who brought children to story narrations. I've brought my son to dubbing sessions. We've had children sleeping while we've done shoots, or we've just included them as a part of the shoot so that they don't trouble us and they're also entertained. So these are challenges which I feel men will not face. I don't see any man thinking that, oh, I have to bring my son to dubbing today, or you know what, my daughter will sit on my lap as I have to narrate the story to the producer. So I don't think these are challenges which men face. And I think being taken seriously also is is a challenge, because sometimes it becomes hard to convince, especially as you women like us who are in a slightly older age range. Why are you doing something like this? How serious are you about it? All these become challenges. Trying to prove that you are serious about your work and you mean what you're doing is a big challenge.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear. You remind me also of being, connected with my children and being a professional at the same time looking after our children. As you said, men don't come that much into the picture while taking care of the children. So I really get that, especially in the Indian setup, maybe. Yes, dear. Now, ma'am, we're not biased against any of the men out there. Please do not be, angered by what we've just shared. We've just shared our personal experiences. There could be several other fathers who come forward and take on their important roles and share space at home equally with their spouse in case of, or in terms of looking after the children by turns. Now, dear, we go on to the next question. What does freedom mean to you? How would you define freedom from your perspective?
I think freedom for me is being absolutely yourself without having to worry about, how you will be perceived, being accountable for what you think, how you look, how you behave. I think freedom is an absolute, permission to do whatever you want, to be who you truly are. Because often, we kind of mold ourselves according to a situation and expectations around us, and we don't reflect our true self. So the moment you're able to reflect and proudly, express who you truly are, that's freedom.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that. Now, ma'am, how did you feel when you were rewarded for the good work that you've been doing with regard to short film making? How was that feeling when you were not even rewarded once? It was thrice, and I think more than that. You just mentioned only three. So, how does that feel when your work is recognized, your hard work, and your passion is given, the right kind of
It's very validating, when you get such recognition, because somewhere you feel that, okay, I am doing something right. No matter how much other people kind of appreciate you and you get recognized for the kind of work that you're doing, there is always an element of self-doubt also within you. Is this something that I can do? Is this something that I'll be able to take on? Am I somebody who can do this? Am I doing the right thing? These kind of questions come, and I think it's these kind of rewards and recognitions kind of validate your decision. So it, every small recognition I feel is just that one kind of a confirmation to me that yes, you're doing the right thing and you are on the right path.
Yes, dear. That's really nice, ma'am. That's a wonderful way to share your joy on being recognized for the hard work that you've put in along with your team. Now, ma'am, there are you being a filmmaker, I'd just like to bring this to your notice and to all the filmmakers out there in the world, if this video reaches everybody. Now, mostly they focus on the adult content in the movies. That is one major one is cheating.
Right.
I mean, between a couple, married couple or unmarried couples as well, there is cheating going on. They want, their spouse to be with them, and they want somebody else in their lives. So why don't they? That's what is being portrayed all the time in most of the movies.
Mm.
What I would like to request all of the filmmakers, create a beautiful movie or produce a beautiful movie where if you come across that you're not attracted to your partner, you cannot gel with your partner, have the frankness immediately to convey that to them, and with dignity part, than to play behind somebody's back, but than to, have the best of both the worlds and then put both of them in pain. It could be either of the spouse or genders, whichever, who all are involved in that. So
Mm.
this is what I make an appeal to all the filmmakers. So let us educate the public through filmmaking that yes, if you are not okay with your spouse or partner, in spite of trying, in a very dignified manner, let's part ways instead of all the violence and all the chaos that they show on. Yes, dear, over to you, ma'am.
I completely agree with you. I think filmmaking is also a very responsible art because it's about it is at the end of the day a medium which has a lot of influence, not just on mature minds which are watching it, but also on young and impressionable minds as well. So yes, I agree with your point. And coincidentally, Andrea, the next project that I'm working on, my story deals with something similar. And when it comes out, as and when it is out, I hope you watch it, and I hope I'm able to justify the concern that you have, because I have addressed the issue in a very human manner. And yes, I wouldn't reveal much at this point, but yes, I understand where you're coming from, and it's not about uh, you know encouraging or supporting an idea of an extramarital affair, or something on those lines, but it is about how you treat the subject, and how relatable it is to the viewer. And it is about, I think, at the end of the day, the characters that you're creating and the stories behind those characters matter. So you just can't have somebody for the heck of it having an affair. Um, every I think strong story tells you why, and in such a way that as an audience, even if you disagree, you probably try, you are like, at the end of it, you're like, I understand where they're coming from. So I think, coming back to your question, I would say that responsible filmmaking is definitely the need of the day. And I agree with you. That's something that we have to work on, definitely.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and views. And of course, when the film is ready, you could share it with us, and the world will get to know about it, and we look forward to that.
Sure.
Yes. Now, ma'am, there may be several women out there and men as well who would look up to you as an inspiration. Yes, from law, she is able to move into HR. From there, she's a writer, an actor, a filmmaker, a strong individual.
Mm.
She's taken up the responsibility for her own life, choosing what she loves to do the most. Now, you seem to be a wonderful inspiration to all of us. In your own personal life, your professional zone, or it could be your personal life, who do you look up to as an inspiration?
Honestly, at this point, I would say that my children are my inspiration, because everybody says you look up to somebody who's elder to you, and you look up to somebody who's at a better and a more advantageous position than you in terms of inspiration. But I would say I constantly am getting inspired by my children, because there are so many qualities that they have, that and there is so much of clarity of thought that they have, which I so wish I had at their age, and which I even now today I feel that, oh, I don't have that kind of a clarity in thinking. For instance, my daughter is very clear about what she wants and what she doesn't want. She's very clear when somebody has upset her, and she's very clear when somebody has disappointed her, and she communicates it in such a wonderful way, without kind of making a person feel bad about it, but she makes sure that her point is put across. And I am still learning that art even today. I'm a very diplomatic person. I'm you know uh, communicating negative and, bad, kind of thoughts and feelings is something which doesn't come easily to me. So I'm definitely, that's something that I'm picking up from her. My son is so affectionate and he's so expressive and, doesn't hesitate to say what he's thinking. At that moment, if he's feeling very happy, he's feeling very affectionate towards you, he will tell it. No matter the situation, no matter, where you are. And I'm like, that is something that I really want to imbibe in myself, because who knows, you never may have another chance to say it. So, that's something that I'm learning from them. And I'd say they are my inspiration at this moment.
Yes, dear, that's really nice. As you said, age is not something that is required. You can derive inspiration from anybody. It could be your own children. It could be just anything around you that could inspire you. And you really beautifully explained about your children as to how you derive inspiration from them. That's really nice. And I could also resonate with you on that, because my sons too, I derive a lot of inspiration from them. And I was thinking, I was not so sharp like them as they are today, the way they think about life, the way they think about their future and retirement. I was dumb literally at that age, not knowing what, just going with the flow. But, they are thinking ahead of their future. They are thinking ahead, like, I mean, when they are no more, then what? Or then how to, stop working too much, slogging too much, and saving up for your retirement. And all of those hints
Right.
we get from our children. Yes, dear. Now, ma'am, when we face a lot of stress, women, men, will include the third gender as well. Everyone, when we face a lot of stress, we all have, a lot of disturbance in our thought process. So with regard to mental health, let's put something very important for our audience, how to deal with our highs and lows, which we cannot explain and share with others. And even there should be movies, more realistic movies connected to mental health, where in India it is stigmatized still.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts as a filmmaker, as a mother, and as a friend? You might have observed different people with regard to mental health. What would you like to say and share about it?
See, I think it's important not to brush it under the carpet. And I think it's important to know that it is something which can affect anybody at any time. And to be understanding, see, from the individual who is going through it perspective, it is important to speak up, to build our own support system around us, to have that trusted circle around us whom we can reach out to and know that we will not be judged, and who we can say anything to and know that they're listening, and they will understand what we're going through. It's important to build that system and that circle around us as individuals. It is also important to take time out, to take care of yourself. Now, all this generally happens when you allow stress to build up over time. um, Neglecting yourself, neglecting your health, neglecting even simple things like taking time out to take a vacation, or taking a break to do something that you really enjoy, is very important. Such small things also matter from the individual's perspective. From the perspective of the other person, I think it's important to keep a watchful eye, around, because there are so many people around us who are probably going through a lot of things, but we don't know because we are so busy in our own lives. So especially when you know somebody really well, it is important to, kind of recognize or observe those small changes in the person. And it's not always about the person throwing an attitude. If it's a woman, it's not always about her being on her periods if she's being moody. It's as simple as that. So it's you need to understand that there are differences in, if there are changes in behavior of the ones that we care about, the ones we are close to around us, all you have to do is ask them how they are. How are you? Is all that you need to ask sometimes for them to open up. Probably they're just waiting for us to ask so that they can talk to us. So it's I think mental health is sadly and unfortunately becoming a very important and priority uh, topic that we have to address in every aspect.
Yes, dear. So how are you? I get that now. Yes. So my dear friends, if you're connected with your close ones and your near and dear ones, just be kind enough to get to know as to how they are. Are they fine? Are you able to at least listen to them? If not do anything, at least give a lending here. Listen to them with the right attitude. Now, dear ma'am, we'll talk about finance. Now, we as women or we as parents, now let me not be biased. We as women, I wouldn't like to get the, all the others. I wouldn't want to fall in that zone where they will be angry with me. This lady speaks about women. Now, all the parents out there, either foster parents, biological parents, uh, all kinds of parents, like you never know. Now, guardians of children. Now, they could include grandparents, aunts, uncles. There are several of them who have contributed all their earnings, their life earnings, entirely bringing up the children in the right way, giving them the best of best educations that they could provide for them, good lifestyle. And they never ever thought about themselves, wanting to save a bit for themselves, thinking that one fine day I may require this money for myself. I need not be dependent on XYZ to survive during my later years. Now, this mistake many of the parents have done, forgetting themselves and contributing everything to the family, living in that present moment of doing everything for them. And towards the fag end of their life, they have been sufferers. Nor the children have stood by them, even if the children have stood by them with a lot of, harsh words. The children may give some money to them, and I think the message is quite clear. Now, I want you to give a strong message to all the young parents and the ones who have already had their children till now. Let them save some money for themselves. Is this something right that I'm asking for?
No, absolutely. There's nothing wrong in that. I think, uh, you know, we need to come out of the mindset that, of looking at children as your retirement, backup, or, children as taking on the role of caretakers and exchanging roles with you as you grow older. Yes, they will be around. If you've given them the right upbringing and the values have been in place, they are definitely always going to be around. But it is, I think, unfair to expect that they will do the hand holding and they will be there to kind of support you in every way as you grow older. I think all of us have to start thinking and make that provision for ourselves, in terms of when we grow older and when we are no longer working, what is our plan in terms of how we want to sustain ourselves, um, and what are we willing to do to kind of get there. And when I do get there, how do I want to live? Do I want to have a comfortable life? Do I want to have a decent life? Do I want to, and then work accordingly to that. If children are there at that stage to kind of take care of you, very well. If they are not, then at least you are prepared, and you know that you can take care of yourself and you don't have to depend on anybody, not just children. You don't have to depend on anybody around you to kind of live. So yes, that I feel it's very important to plan your later life.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts on that. Thank you very much. A big request to all the parents, keep some amount of money for you, save for your future such that you are comfortable, not dependent on your children. Allow your children to have their own space and enjoy their lives. Now, dear ma'am, I'd like to go on to the next question. The next question here is, how would you describe yourself if given a chance, to be on an international platform where you have to, defend the people of India? Because sometimes in foreign countries we've seen that they say, oh, Indians are dirty. They are unhygienic, to put it in that way. Because we as Indians, we have, you know, we have used our fingers most of the time to either prepare food and cook. We hardly make use of the gloves in most cases. So what do you have to defend yourself? I mean, your countrymen over there, you people, how would you do that? It's quite tough.
No, I think it's been proven time and again that all the practices, the customs, the traditions that we follow in India, all of them have a scientific and a logic behind them. They have a reason a scientific reason behind them. Probably over time, only the custom or the tradition has stuck along, but the reason has kind of been lost, the actual reason. So I would say that, you can say whatever you want, but, I think Indians, we are really the best, and we are blessed in every way. I think we have the best resources. We have the best place to live in. And I think we have an intellect which is recognized globally. And we've proven our capability time and again. And probably, that's what sometimes can be a threatening factor to somebody who looks at you from outside. I would say that I don't think we have anything to be worried. And every country, every place has its own practices. They have their own way of life and dealing with things. So if you make fun of something that we do, so be it. That doesn't speak about me, but it speaks about the person who's speaking.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts on that. That's really wonderful. Now, ma'am, you being a woman, including me too, there is something called as dowry that is very prevalent even till date, with the highly educated women of India suffering under the pressure of dowry. What do you have to say about this?
See, I would like to believe that it's slowly becoming, a redundant kind of a practice. Although I agree with you, there are still places, there are still, areas in India where probably it is prevalent. It is a social evil at the end of the day, and any evil needs time to kind of get rooted out completely. And I know that there is enough of awareness being created. I know there are enough of laws being written, to prevent an evil like that. I know women have enough of resources to fight with an evil like dowry harassment and all that. But I think as individuals, we need to stand up for ourselves. It's only natural that we're scared of the repercussions. We're worried about, if I take legal action, what will happen? If I speak up, something might happen. So probably that's where, as long as there are people who are going to give, there are going to be people who are going to take. So it's okay to have an unmarried daughter sitting at home who's happy and content than having a married daughter who's suffering and struggling somewhere. So I think that's what, as parents, we need to realize. And probably when that thinking sets in, maybe this will also kind of reduce, because when there are no givers, there won't be any takers.
Excellent, excellent, ma'am. Thank you for that encouragement that, you've made a beautiful statement for the parents, like you've shared that. It's okay to have your children at home safe than to have them suffering somewhere with some person who is greedy after money, not in their daughters' lives and the improvement of their families. Yes, and my dear friends, if you're stuck up in any place like that where you feel you're harassed for dowry, unfair dowry demands, etc., please move out from that space, seek help, take the legal help, or maybe save yourself from all the torture. Right? We've seen highly educated women also being like, just because of the societal pressure, they just put up a brave front that everything is okay, but inside it's all, get completely damaged. Now, ma'am, what is it that you love about Trupti?
I think I love the fact that I am somebody, like I told in the very beginning of the conversation, somebody who's not complacent with things. So that has always helped me, because I'm constantly, in fact, a lot of my achievements and a lot of things that I've been able to do has been a result of that. The fact that I'm actually very opposite to my name. My name means satisfaction, and I'm somebody who is not easily satisfied. I would say that that has worked in favor, because a lot of things that I've done and I've gone on to achieve has been a result of this dissatisfaction. And I feel that that is my something which I like about myself.
Wonderful. That's really nice. So, I just what I understand is not to be stagnant, to keep growing, to keep growing. Yes. I mean, once you achieve a type of satisfaction, maybe then what next? What next? Yes. That's wonderful, ma'am. That's really nice. Now, ma'am, what about your cooking skills? Are you a great cook too?
I cook to survive. I mean, I used to cook to survive, but then I think as a parent, I think your all your hidden talents start coming out. So especially when you have children who are not easily satisfied with eating the same food every day, or they who want variety, you probably kind of learn to uh, upgrade your cooking skills. So I would say I'm a decent cook, and but if given a choice, if I have an option not to cook, I'll probably not do.
Yes, dear. Cook for survival. Like even I come under that zone. I just cook to survive and I'm a bad cook. I accept that. And of course, when we have children, we have to work a little harder. Yes. Now, ma'am, what is it that angers you? Is it bribery? Is it like unfair treatment? What is it that you feel that you can't keep quiet? You have to go out and express yourself. That angers you a lot. It makes you speak out against certain things. What is it?
I think as an individual, for me, you asked me how important freedom was. So something that I've always observed is when freedom is questioned, when there are restraints put on you unreasonably, that angers me. And as a woman, I'm very, very kind of touched and uh, easily disturbed by factors which kind of discriminate against women. Social situations and expectations which seem to be, kind of not favorable to us as women. We already have enough of challenges. So if there are certain situations and restrictions, expectations being put on us, which kind of make it harder, that definitely angers me.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing that. Thank you so much. Now, ma'am, amongst all your accomplishments till date, right from the start with your stint as a lawyer in the HR field and all of the other important zones you are into, the creative field, your proudest accomplishment till date?
I think there are a couple of them. One, I would say that, like you mentioned in the introduction, the becoming the first women director for my company was a big achievement for me, because that came after I came back from my maternity break. So it came at a time for me when usually you're very vulnerable, and you're questioning your life stages, your life decisions, your priorities, and to be able to take on a challenge like that, and to know that there are people who are recognizing that you're worthy enough of taking on a responsibility like that, I think I would definitely say that that was probably one of my best achievements, because from there I learned that I don't think it's only my self doubt which is stopping me. Otherwise, there's nothing pretty much which I probably can't achieve if I don't put my thought and effort to.
Yes, dear. That's really nice. Thank you for sharing, ma'am. Thank you so much. As rightly said in Kannada, one of my friends, she shared this when I interviewed her on this platform, my classmate. Ishta idre kashta agodilla. Am I right? Did I get it right?
Absolutely right. You said it perfectly.
Yes, dear. If you like something, you will do it no matter how hard it is, how difficult the task is. The moment you start disliking something, even if the task is easy, you will not do it you will not.
The difficulty only comes when you don't like something.
Yes, dear.
Yeah.
And she made me repeat it twice or thrice to get the lines right. Did I tell it in the right way?
No, you said it perfectly. There was no mistake at all.
Thank you, dear. Now, ma'am, how many languages are you conversant in?
3. I English, Kannada, and Hindi, and I learned French a few years ago, quite some time ago. So I believe that I'll be able to survive if I go to a place where I have to converse in French. But yeah, these 3 are Kannada, English, and Hindi are what I'm most.
Yes, dear. Now, ma'am, one fine day we have to leave this universe, leave everything, and just merge into the soil.
Yep.
Now, what kind of a legacy or what kind of memories you would want people to have about you? Like what, to put it in a very simple way, how would you want to be remembered when you're no more on this planet?
See, I think I want to be remembered, all as cliche as it may seem, but I would want to be remembered as a good human being first. I want to be remembered as somebody who was empathetic, who, walked in the shoes of others and, was in a world that is cruel, was able to be kind. And I want to be remembered as somebody who never stopped, and, who for whom sky was probably the limit, and the only limitations which I set were probably by myself.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear. Now, ma'am, imagine we give you a time machine in hand, and at the click of one button that takes you into the past era where you have to relive somebody's life as a task and return back. So going back in time, whose life you'd love to relive and return back?
It's an interesting question. I will probably want to be, I don't mind living during the time of the Indus Valley civilization, not as a particular person, but probably as one of the people living in the Indus Valley civilization, because I was even in as a child in school, I was very fascinated by what I read about them, and how efficient and organized they were even back then, and the kind of life they lived, and the kind of infrastructure they had managed to build around themselves. So I would say that probably if I had a time machine, I'll go back to that era probably, and try to live a day in their life.
Yes, wonderful. That's really nice. That's really very wonderful, ma'am, to go back. Even though you made me also recollect my textbooks, like,
Yeah.
and imagine the explanation that was given in class and all of that. That's really nice. Now, ma'am, with regard to forgiving people in your life, or in general, forgiveness, how far should one be able to forgive the other person who has either intentionally or unintentionally hurt you? Unintentionally, we could understand and forgive them immediately.
Yeah.
Like, intentionally, you know that that person is hurting, and you're rubbing salt on their wounds again and again. So at this point of time, like at that point of time, like, or let me put it right. What is forgiveness according to you?
See, forgiveness, I think, is you're freeing yourself, from being affected by somebody else's, actions. So I think true forgiveness comes when you're completely letting go of everything that the person has done and everything that action has done to you. And I think we need to see the bigger picture. When you're forgiving, you're probably freeing yourself, like I said. So you're no longer allowing yourself to be impacted by what somebody else did. And so I think forgiveness, in a way, is a selfish task, because you probably have to do it for yourself than for the other person. And if it's a repeated thing that somebody is doing, then yes, I would definitely think that we need to be cautious about it. I read somewhere that a mistake which is repeated is not a mistake; it's a choice. So if somebody is intentionally doing it, then probably there is a lesson for you. I'd say that forgive, but don't forget the lessons that the incident gave.
Yes, a wise answer. Very nice. I really like the way you put it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful answer. Thank you so much. Now, dear, one major question, and then we go on to the rapid fire round. The last major question: criticism. Like, there are two types of criticism: the destructive one and the constructive one.
Yes.
No matter what, it's called as criticism.
Yes.
How would you share your thoughts with regard to criticism?
So I agree with you in terms of criticism being of different kinds. I think constructive criticism is very important. And, unfortunately, criticism has, with the social media era and, with having so many things at your disposal so easily, everybody is a critic. Everybody is a critic to everybody around them, to everything around them. Sometimes I feel that it kind of makes us inhuman, because we are not seeing the efforts that somebody else is putting in. We are not understanding that failure also is a curve. I mean, with failure is what comes success. And so I would say that criticize, but be constructive about your criticism. When you tell somebody why you didn't like something that they have done or that they have put up, tell them why also, how to improve it also, because it's easy to say, point out mistakes, but it's difficult to tell them how to come out of that mistake. So, be constructive in the feedback that you give them so that they know how they can do better. If it's a person who's wise enough to accept what you're saying, and if it's a person who thinks that what you're saying is justified, it gives them enough, kind of uh, to kind of reflect, to introspect on, and probably it might help them to become a better person, or to kind of improve themselves. But if you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, then you're just being part of the crowd. There's nothing to it. You're adding to the noise.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your time in the first half of the session. Now we have a small segment called as the rapid fire round, which will take just 5 minutes.
Sure.
Yes. My dear friends, we had a lovely session with ma'am, getting to know her thoughts and views and all the suggestions that she has given us till now with regard to various aspects of life. You could take many of them personally and you could try it out. Definitely you will be a winner with regard to criticism, with regard to forgiveness, with regard to freedom, and many other important aspects. Now join us to get to know more about her likes and dislikes. It's called as the rapid fire round on the International Fabtalks. Ma'am, is it cake, ice creams, or chocolate?
Chocolates.
Summer, winter, autumn, spring, rainy season?
It used to be winters, but as I'm aging, it becomes spring.
Yes, dear. Your favorite mode of transport?
Metro.
Wow. City, village, or a town?
Village, eventually.
Yes, dear. Now, ma'am, when somebody helps you or you help somebody, there's something called as expectation. I've done this for somebody and or they have done this for me. They will expect something, maybe a thank you or a hug, or maybe just a look into their eyes, like a look of satisfaction. What do you expect when you help others?
Just a smile, probably, just an acknowledgement. I mean, you don't have to thank me, but just to know that you recognize that there is something that has come from my end.
Yes, I get that. A perfect day in one word.
Perfect day would be a day where I can probably just relax, and there are no pressures of work deadlines, and where you probably get to do what you like to do. So, you can spend enough time either just watching a movie or spending time with your children, going out. So that's probably a perfect day.
I love that answer. I could resonate with you on that. Yes, dear. Now, ma'am, as we've spoken about cooking earlier, your favorite recipe?
I think my favorite recipe will be something that's easiest to make. So, and which I'm good at. So probably something like palak paneer.
Great. The next question coming up, dear. Your favorite teacher?
My favorite teacher is I can take her name, Miss Begum, and she was my Hindi teacher in 7th standard, and she was my class teacher as well. A lot of what I am today is because of her. I used to be a shy kid. I used to be an introvert kid, and I think she was one of the first teachers. I was a very normal kid, the ordinary kind of kid who teachers don't see anything special in, and who's okay. But I think she was the one who recognized that there was talent inside me, and she gave me platform, created enough platforms for me to showcase that talent. In fact, Hindi, being a Kannadiga and a South Indian, Hindi is not even a language. But I think she helped me develop a love for that language, and she recognized that I was good at it. And in fact, there was a play that we had in 7th standard in Hindi, and I was the protagonist. I was the main character for that play, and I was not even a Hindi student. So that's the extent to which she kind of encouraged me and supported me. And to this day, I think there's hardly a few months which go without me thinking of her and thanking her for what she's done for me.
Yes, dear. That's really nice. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Now, ma'am, are you a sweet lover? Do you love sweets?
I am not. I wouldn't say that I can't live without sweets. I enjoy sweets, but I'm okay. I mean, like if you ask me to go on a no sweet kind of a challenge, I'll probably happily take it up. I'm fine.
Great, great, ma'am. I will break the rule. I will cheat. Maybe 2-3 days without it, but then again, somewhere I will try to find something that is sweet. That's really nice. Yes. Now, if we place sweet, salty, spicy, stuff in front of you, what would you select first?
Spicy.
Oh, great. That's really nice. Ma'am, when you find yourself all alone, your family members are away from you, your children, etc. You don't have books around you, you don't have even gadgets around you to keep you occupied. Then naturally one gets connected to their thoughts. You have nothing else to do. How do you think your thoughts would, take you into that zone, either into the past, present, or future? If I could put it right, when you're alone, your thoughts.
I would probably just reflect on life itself, and I'll probably end up thinking of incidents from my life and people I've met in my life, and how I can make them into stories that I can tell.
Yes, that's really nice. Now, ma'am, are you a night owl or an early bird?
I'm an early bird.
Great, that's nice. Now, is it tea or coffee?
Tea.
Your favorite month?
December, because I was born.
Any specific reason?
Birthday, and it's like the holiday season, so.
Yes. Which is that thing that you're connected to nature, like, the best part of nature? What is it that appeals to you? The mountains, the forests, or the water bodies?
Mountains. I think I love mountain air. I love the the thrill of being in a hill station, the climate, the scenery. I think all that kind of excites me. So I would definitely say I'm a mountain person.
Your favorite color, dear?
Yellow.
The insect that you don't like?
They're okay. I mean, I don't mind insects being around, but I don't know, probably not exactly insects, but lizards maybe.
Yes, dear. Now, ma'am, the next question that comes up, like an unforgettable incident in your early childhood, like below the age of 13. Do you have any specific incident which you'd like to share with us?
Can't think of anything immediately. Nothing comes to the top of my mind, actually. Probably the first day at school. Like, I remember, I think somehow that's a memory which is very kind of clearly etched in my mind. And no matter how many years pass by and how old I get, that like a cinema playing in my head. I will remember that first day at school. Mom used to also work back then. Both my parents had taken time off from work to come and leave me, which is a rarity. So probably that's why it becomes even more special, because both of them had come to leave me, and I think I was okay. I didn't kind of feel too bad, or I wasn't crying too much, hopefully. So I guess that's one memory which probably I can remember.
Yes, dear. Mommy's pet or daddy's pet?
Daddy.
Yes, dear. One last question, ma'am. The best gift that you've received till date?
Best gift that I've received, I'm a very, sentimental and old-fashioned kind of a day, but I think I would say when people have given me their time, that has probably been the best gift. Like giving materialistic things kind of don't matter to me, but when they've opted to spend time with me, and they've set aside, planned a day out for me to kind of be with me, that's like the best gift for me.
That's really wonderful. I really love this that you've just shared. It also keeps me thinking that this is the right kind of gift we should look out for than the
Absolutely.
materialistic gifts.
Because that's a gift you can't get back. Time you will never get back. And other gifts can be replaced, I suppose.
You come across a wise person, ma'am, with wisdom. That's really very nice.
Life does that to you.
Ma'am, one last request, dear. I'd like you to share 3 magical words with us, apart from please, sorry, and thank you. Gift us with 3 words that could empower us in the right way.
I will use 3 words together, which is also one of my favorite quotes. I will say, you are enough.
Would you mind repeating that for us again?
You are enough.
You are enough, right?
Yes.
That's really nice. So each one of us have that potential within us, just have to tap it out, find out the right kind of, people around us, the right kind of the environment, the right kind of environment where you could feel that you are enough in every way.
Yeah.
You need not, go beyond boundaries or, overdo things. You are enough and God is there with us. That's really nice. So I really like this. You are enough. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for being here with us. At last, I've been able to reach you out. And
I know.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
happy
really,
that we're finally able to do this chat and, after missing each other a couple of times. So I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation and it was wonderful, kind of being able to talk about myself and have you as somebody who's listening has been an absolute pleasure.
thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. Thank you very much. We look forward to many interactions with you in the near future as well. Stay blessed, stay connected, and keep empowering us the way you do as always. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate the work that you're doing. And I think towards the beginning of the conversation, you told me that I'm the 500th guest that you're talking to. So that's really an accomplishment, I would say. And I hope you get to do much, much more and reach out to many, many more people through this.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
My dear friends, with this, we'd like to come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. Stay connected with us. Share this video with the right kind of people. You never know who may be impressed with it, who may be learning a lot of important topics that were discussed today on this platform with our celebrity, Trupti Kulkarni. And if you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to love yourself. Don't forget to love your family. And don't forget to tell this thing to yourself. You are enough. You need not live according to the terms and conditions of others. You find your inner strength and energy and keep repeating this. You are enough and you are fine in God's own eyes. Thank you so much. Thank you, dear.